let's now look at the calculation in terms of depreciation. Right, so question 2 wants us to calculate depreciation on vehicles. And remember guys, whenever they ask you to do the calculation, please make sure that you break up vehicles as follows. So obviously we tackled disposal, the vehicle that we sold, that we got rid of. Right, we need to ask ourselves, did we purchase a new vehicle during the financial year? Do we need to write off depreciation on this new vehicle? And obviously, we also need to write off depreciation on our old or our remaining vehicles. Okay, so remember, you've got to place vehicles in the following categories. Disposal, what I got rid of. New, what I purchased during the year. And obviously, old or remaining vehicles. Right, so disposal is obviously done and dusted. Depreciation for the current financial year is 1,500. Let's now look at new vehicles. Did we firstly buy a new vehicle during the current financial year? And I think we did. So let's quickly find that. Right, so there we go, the third bit of information. On the 1st of February 2008, a new vehicle was purchased for 120,000. So obviously, if we now bought a new vehicle, right? So we bought the new vehicle here on the 1st of February. We owned the vehicle for 1 month. So we now need to write off depreciation on this new vehicle for 1 month. So let's go back and let's get the cost of the new vehicle that we purchased. So the cost is 120,000. So let's take that through. Okay, so in my calculation, 120,000 times 10% is obviously the rate. And remember, for this financial year, I owned the vehicle for 1 month. So 1 over 12. Okay, it should give me 1,000, but let's quickly get the calculator out. So 120,000 times 10%, okay, divided by 12 and times 1. So obviously my depreciation on new is 1,000. Okay, so as you can see guys, not difficult. Right, then depreciation on old or remaining vehicles. Now, what are they referring to as old or remaining? So obviously, it must not include the new vehicle and it must not include the vehicle that you disposed of. So if we go back to our information, vehicle had a cost price at the beginning of the year of 510,000. Now clearly the new vehicle was not included because this amount represented beginning of the financial year. However, in this amount of 510,000 is obviously my disposal, which I first need to subtract. Okay, so that's important. So 510,000, I first need to minus the disposal cost price, which was 30,000. So I want you guys to please remember that. So 510,000, let's do that together. So 510 minus the amount that got transferred to asset disposal, and that was the 30,000. And that will give me the cost price of my old vehicles. So if I quickly calculate that, so 510, I'm going to ignore the zeros, minus 30,000, and that's giving me 480,000, and that is the cost of the remaining vehicles, excluding what you disposed of. So 480,000, remember I obviously owned the remaining vehicles from the beginning of the year until the end of the year. So in other words, for 12 months, the entire year. So when I now write off depreciation, I'm writing off for an entire year. So let me go back to the blue. So times 10% times 12 over 12, and I'm writing off an amount of, so 480,000 okay, times 10% for an entire year, an amount of 48,000. Okay, so not difficult. Right, so my total depreciation is obviously disposal plus the depreciation on new plus the depreciation on my remaining vehicles. And let's do that again quickly together. Let's move that so you guys can see. So 48,000 plus the 1,000 plus the 1,500, and that is giving us 50,500. Okay, right, second part of the question done and dusted. Let's now move on to the third question that wants us